Hey everyone, welcome to the server and to my community. My name is CryptoReda, as you guys know, and for those don't know me yet, I made this video especially for you. I'm not a day trader, I'm a swing trader. So that basically means I don't sit behind the screen all day staring at every single candle on the charts, right? Like some people do, which is no problem with. It's just not my style. Instead, I focus on the bigger moves, that sometimes can take a lot of days or even weeks to play out. So I wait patiently for the right setups to form, like for example for a bottom structure like you see on my screen, right? These are the structures I'm waiting for. Um, and when they do, I stay in those trades longer and aim for a higher probability, higher reward plays, right? Like I did with this one. This was like almost like a 40x move. So in this video, I'll give you like a quick introduction to how I trade, what tools I use, and how I keep my charts clean and simple, because I truly believe simplicity beats complexity when it comes to trading. I've been with this motto since 2018-19, so I do think this is the best way to do it. So over the years, I've learned one big thing. You don't need 100 indicators, okay? You just need clarity and structure in front of you. So I don't try to reinvent the wheel. I use basic but very effective indicators like the MACD, like the EMAs, like the Stochn RSI, the normal RSI, and the BBWP. People clown me for my EMAs. They say, "Oh, your EMAs are all bullshit," and all. Look, I don't care, right? As long as I make money with them, then I would care less what someone else says, and that's what your mindset should be. Just use what works. Don't go reinvent the wheel or follow someone else. Someone else's method may work for that person, but may fail for you. Okay? So, um, but here's the most important part, right? These indicators never decide my trades. That's very important, okay? The most important thing for me is always price structure, right? Because it can also be a lower high and it goes down. So I need to see a bottom structure, accumulation, forming, for example, on this chart, and then some higher lows forming, and then I go to the indicators, okay? So indicators basically just help me confirm what I'm already seeing on this chart. So they add confluence, right? Think of them like, supporting actors, useful, but they're never the main character. I know this sounds cringe, but this is the analogy, that I like to use. Also, keeping this chart clean, right? So you'll notice on my charts, they don't look messy, okay? I could even make them less messy because this is an old chart that I started. Um, but like I really hate noise or clutter on my chart. It just makes me anxious. Like it doesn't keep me focused, right? So again, what I do is very simple, right? I start with the weekly chart, as you guys see right now. I look for confluence, right? I draw horizontal lines and mark important levels where price reacted in the past. So for example, right here I drew a horizontal line. Let me just remove these circles right here. So I made a horizontal here based on these 2 wicks, right? Based on these 2 wicks. And look what happened. Look at the confluence, right? Even 4 years later, right? It reacted the same way, right? Look, rejection down, right? Same thing here, right? The uptrend, there was resistance on this wick, the wick from 2021, got rejected first, rejected accumulation underneath, even lower on this level, and then you broke out. Like, how do I know this breakout plays out? Because every time you break a certain level, in the past you broke one time, came back down, second time went up again. So of course the third time traders are going to take it up again, right? So as a structure, develops, these lines often turn into rectangles, or you can call them zones, whatever, or some people call them. Then I drop down to the daily time frame, right? I have a daily time frame as well. Again, I don't have it done here because this is my injective chart. But if I go to, for example, Bitcoin, right? Let me just go here. Yeah, so on Bitcoin, I have some daily levels, as you guys can see. Um, so like I said, then I drop down to the daily time frame where I refine those zones, right? Refine those zones and wait for confluence, like when multiple signals align at once. Because I'm a swing trader, the weekly and the daily are the most important time frames for me personally. This gives me the big picture, the context, and help filter out all the small noise that short-term traders often get trapped in, right? Like when you look at the 1 hour, the 5 minutes or whatever, you don't see the full picture, right? Like you cannot see what's really happening or if things are bullish, right? So if I go for example to the monthly, right, and I zoom out, I mean I don't really see anything that's worrying me on a monthly because what do I see here? Higher high, higher high, higher high, higher low, higher low, higher low. But on the lower time frame, it looks really bearish. So what some people do, they sell everything based on the lower time frames, right? You can see structure developing here, but I will go into that a bit later. So RSI, right? RSI is is a tool for me it is very effective, right? Let me just show you. That's this one right here. So I divided RSI, right, into three zones. Okay, above 60, here's where bulls are in control. Okay, the bulls are in control. If I go, for example, here to the daily, yeah, so the bulls are in control here. Let me just get the weekly. Yeah, so above 60, there's no problem. Bulls are fully in control. Things are bullish, right? People are long all across the board, right? Around 50, as you can see the line right here, this means neutral. Okay, so neither bulls or bears are control. So this is very vital because here's where I can check. Okay, is it gonna bounce from the neutral zone or no, right? And of course on the weekly, it's gonna have to take a little bit longer, right? Below 40, that's the red line. Here is where bears are control, right? So like you've seen in the past, this was back in 2022. So look at this confluence, right? This was literally at the bottom, right? You can see this lower low right there, this lower low, but you see this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful higher low on the RSI. So you had some nice bullish divergence here, right? And that triggered the bull move up, right? Of course, not all of it, but this was definitely something very nice to see. So if I continue, so this gives me a very visual cue when I'm analyzing a chart. You know, if I see RSI around that 40 zone with strong structure support on higher time frames, that's where I start paying very close attention, like I just showed you right here, because those levels often form a bottom structure, you know, for a nice swing trade entry. Second thing, EMAs, okay, EMA strategy. Uh, my number one indicator, right, that I love to use, right, are EMAs. I mainly use three EMAs. I use the 21 EMA, right, that's the red line, the 21. I use the 10, and I use the weekly 200 EMA, right, because they have so much confluence on price, right. I also use the same ones on the daily. One of my favorite setups is what I call a squeeze. Okay, let me just show you an example. Let me go back to Injective really quick. Yeah, right here, and I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna zoom in right there, right there. So, what is a squeeze? That's when price gets trapped between the 10 and the 21 EMA. Again, so red line 10, yellow line 21. Okay, when this happens, and I see confluence from other indicators like the RSI and the BBWP. By the way, the BBWP is literally just a volatility index. Okay, but when that's when you catch, like it often signals that volatility is about to expand, like I just explained, and that's when you can catch those beautiful, beautiful volatile moves, right? Beautiful. I didn't chart this. Let me just place this this horizontal right here. Let's see. I think around here is nice. Yeah. So that was also double bottom. So a good example, what we saw was Injective. It had the clean squeeze setup, right? You saw that weekly close above that weekly EMA. I didn't enter here. I entered in the second one. This was my entry. I still have that trade, on my Twitter somewhere. You can look it up. So it had a clean setup that led to a massive, massive move up, and then you can put your stops and then literally ride this wave up and literally just take profits, on the way up if you want to. So how do I organize and what are these watches lists that I have on the right, and why do I use them, right? So something that is just as important as analyzing the charts is organization. Like what do I mean? Like organizing your tools or organizing your stuff, right? So if you look at my trading view setup, you will notice a lot of watch lists, right? So each one is focused on a specific narrative or sector. So for example, I have Deepin AI narrative. If I click on it, you can see all the Deepin and AI coins that I sorted by market cap, right? This helps me like navigate faster, spot narrative rotation and keep everything organized. For me personally, it's a huge edge, especially when you can track like 50 lists at once or 50 coins at once, as you can see. That brings me to a key point, right? If you're serious about trading or even just doing research, which I call the hybrid approach, where you are doing both, then you should invest in a TradingView account. Like without a TradingView account, like without paying for the paid version, you are behind everyone else. Okay, if you go to my Discord, click on referral, you can use a discount code. Okay, but invest in it, right? Trying to trade without it is like a builder, building without tools. Honestly, like I use this for charting and research, and honestly, like it's one of the best investments that any trader or researcher can make. You have everything organized, and it's a must. Okay, so this is a quick breakdown of how I approach the market and how I trade. If you're new here, this should give you a better idea what to expect from my streams and from this community. I like to keep things clean, logical, and based on structure. I don't really like fall for hype. In this server, I'll be sharing my insights, charts, and setups, but more importantly, I want to build a space where people can learn from each other, share ideas, of course, grow together without the nonsense you see, in many of these groups that you see on WAP, like very focused on leverage, leverage, leverage. So whether you're a beginner or an experienced trader, I think you will find value here. I mean, of course, you have to stay disciplined. You have to be patient. Um, and also like just lower your expectations. Again, it's a free server, so I'm trying to just do my best. So again, thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure to introduce yourself in the chat, and hopefully see you guys in the upcoming stream. Bye bye.